Khamzat is back, but not as the wild, reckless berserker everyone thought they had figured out. This version is colder, sharper, and far more dangerous. The moment those new training clips leaked, the temperature across the entire division dropped. When he walks into the gym, the air feels tighter. Fighters watching the footage can practically feel their lungs shrink. His camp isn't conditioning anymore, it's psychological warfare. Every clip is a sniper shot aimed at anyone foolish enough to think they're ready. And if you think that sounds dramatic, keep watching, because in exactly 60 seconds, I'm going to reveal the real reason these videos were released right now. And trust me, it's not what fans think. The newest footage shows a Khamzat who doesn't chase chaos, he creates it. He engineers every moment, setting traps with footwork, baiting mistakes, and dragging sparring partners deeper than they've ever been taken. The pressure is still nuclear, but now it's organized, weaponized, terrifying, because it's backed by patience. You're no longer fighting a monster, you're fighting a mastermind. And right after this next part, I'll reveal the one change in his striking that analysts say could make him literally impossible to game plan for. He barely finished celebrating before demanding the next fight, and that kind of urgency isn't normal. Not for a guy the UFC usually protects. Not for someone who fights only once a year. Dana White saw that spark and immediately tried to push him back into the cage. Likely Abu Dhabi, where the heavyweight title already headlines the card. But Dana wants one more explosion that night, and Khamzat is the nuclear option. Middleweight fans suggested names like Fluffy Hernandez, but he's already booked. Others called for Imavov, who's preparing for his Paris showdown. All of this leads to one conclusion. Khamzat's presence alone is about to kick down the door of the top 10. And one wrong move from any contender could get their entire career rearranged overnight.
How about for Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis as we revisit our main event? What can you say about Khamzat Chimaev's dominant performance?
What about Chimaev being so calm when he was up here with us? He won a gold belt that I dedicated my life to. He won a black belt after he won the gold belt. I mean, not for nothing, this was his night, and he had already moved on. He was already looking for who's next. He's already talking about turnarounds, and I want to make money. I don't know him very well, but I learned a lot about him in that interview, and that type of composure is one of the reasons that he doesn't fit.
Every contender is looking over their shoulder, wondering if that phone call is coming. And keep watching, because in just a moment, I'll tell you which ranked fighter has secretly been preparing for Khamzat for months, even though the UFC hasn't said a word about it.
Spoke about a possible next scenario for Khamzat Chimaev.
Ariel Helwan and his team went through every possible name they could throw out, but they kept coming back to one man, Nasruddin Imavov. Ranked number 2, dangerous everywhere, and now with Rainier de Ridder out of the picture, Imavov suddenly looks like the perfect test. The timing fits, the storyline fits, and the stakes? They're massive. This isn't just a fight, it's a tectonic shift under the entire division. The winner gets launched straight into title orbit. The loser gets sent tumbling right back down the mountain.
So there you go. He will consider it, Dustin. We'll see if Khamzat Chimaev gets on that card late October.
Ariel laid out the future like a prophecy. Khamzat versus Imavov. Brendan Allen versus Dricus. Fluffy Hernandez versus Strickland. No rematches. No protection. No safety fights. Just pure, unpredictable chaos. He said these matchups could rewrite the entire division within months, and he's right. One upset, one finish, one injury. The whole ladder explodes. And here's the wildest part. In a moment, I'm going to tell you which of these fights Dana White secretly believes could crown the next star of the whole company, not just the division.
Fluffy had a great win. He could be up there. Cal, but he has a fight booked.
Right.
That would be a quick turnaround for the winner of that fight. I'm just wondering who's next there.
And it's hard for me to imagine that Fluffy is going to headline a pay-per-view. However, I'll remind you guys, he's won 8 in a row.
Right.
The all-time record was 10 in a row, and that went to Marab before finally getting a title shot. So whether you like the idea of Fluffy or not, you're going to have to learn to love it within a fight.
Well, here's the scenario at middleweight. The top contender is Nassourdine Imavov. He's fighting Caio Borralho in 2 weeks in Paris, France. Safe to say that might be the contender fight. Reinier de Ridder's unbeaten in the UFC. He's climbed the ranks very quickly, and then, of course, Fluffy Hernandez is in there. But a lot of fresh matchups for Khamzat Chimaev in the top.
Then the world turned to Alex Pereira, and he shut down Khamzat's challenge without even blinking. No interest, no negotiation, no hesitation. The super fight fans were begging for? Dead on arrival. Pereira slammed the door, locked it, and walked away. But that rejection had an unexpected effect. It made the spotlight on Khamzat even brighter. Because if the king refuses to acknowledge the challenger becomes the storm the entire division now has to survive.
If is healthy and can go when they want to do that fight, he's the first option.
So you look at the middleweight division, Khamzat is the champion. Dricus is still ranked number 1. Imavov number 2. It's obviously not Dricus next. Nassourdine, as we say, should be next. 3 is Strickland. 4 is RDR. 5 is Izzy. 6 is Fluffy. 7 is Caio. 8 is Robert. 9 is Brendan Allen. And then 10 is Michael Venom Page. I tweeted afterwards that I think it should be Khamzat versus Imavov.
Inside Khamzat's camp, everything looks like it's being filmed inside a thunderstorm. Every round is violent, hungry, desperate, like he's fighting ghosts of his past self and trying to outdo each one. Every punch looks like he's punishing the memory of his last performance. Fans watching the footage aren't just entertained, they're stuck to their screens because it feels like you're witnessing an evolution in real time. And stay right here, because his coach just revealed one sentence about this camp that completely changes everything you thought you knew about Khamzat's mindset.
Allen and Fluffy fought not that long ago, so I don't know if we have to see that just yet. And I like the idea of Fluffy getting a big fight against Strickland. If he wins, he should then be next, meaning next after the winner of Khamzat versus Imavov. And then if Strickland wins, now all of a sudden he's right back in the mix. DDP needs a fight against a big name, but not someone who is next to derail that guy, because you don't want to put DDP in a position where he's next for Khamzat Chimaev because he just got thoroughly beat down.
This isn't the hungry kid fighting his way up anymore. This is the final boss. This is the guy you build a strategy for, only to tear it apart after watching 10 seconds of new footage. Fighters are watching Khamzat evolve in real time, and you can see the panic in their interviews, the hesitation, the forced confidence, the "we'll see what happens" tone that only shows up when their instincts are screaming that something is wrong. His dominance doesn't start on fight night. It starts weeks before, in the sweat, the leaked clips, the quiet whispers spreading through every gym in the division.
That's awesome. Last one from me. I don't know if you're aware of this yet, but middleweight champion Khamzat Chimaev has called you out and said that congratulations, but now you guys need to finish your business. Are you aware of what business that is, and are you interested in him moving up to fight you at this stage?
Obrigado pelos parabéns, mas eu quero uma super luta, igual eu falei, quero lutar nos pesos pesados. Então, só agradeço só pelos parabéns.
Thanks for congratulating me, but all I want is a super fight. I want to fight at heavyweight, but all I can say is thank you.
His striking is cleaner, faster, sharper. His grappling has turned into something suffocating and cruel. He closes distance like he's folding the octagon in half. He can shift from wild chaos to ice-cold calculation without even blinking. He looks possessed. He looks inevitable. And here's your final warning. In a moment, I'll reveal the weight class Khamzat is already preparing for. A move that will shock everyone who thinks they've predicted his future. he's not just eyeing the middleweight throne. He's openly talking about invading light heavyweight, a division where every punch is a sledgehammer and every opponent is a giant. And he doesn't care. Insiders say he's already told his team he wants the biggest, nastiest names at 205 and 02 dash-ups and 0 warm-ups. Straight into the fire that he believes he's built for that division right now, and the only thing he's waiting for is the UFC to pull the trigger. Right now, Khamzat Chimaev looks unstoppable, like he's sprinting through a steel cage. He doesn't just fight opponents. He breaks their confidence before the fight even starts. He moves like a storm. He touches you once, and you feel the next 10 seconds before they even happen. He doesn't just beat people, he leaves damage behind. As fans argue over his sparring clips and the brutality of his training footage, the truth becomes impossible to ignore. He's smarter now, more calculated, more dangerous, more patient. This isn't just a problem for the middleweight division, it's a full-blown crisis. The division is wide open, fighters are scrambling, and the UFC is staring at a puzzle with only one solution, and a dozen terrified contenders praying that solution isn't their name. So now every headline circles back to the same question. Who steps up? Is it Imavov, Allen, Strickland, Fluffy? Or is it the dark horse lurking just outside the rankings, waiting to explode into the spotlight? Nobody knows, and that's exactly why this moment feels electric. Because when Chimaev returns, it won't be just another fight. It'll be an event. A moment the entire MMA world will be glued to. Hit subscribe, smash that like button, and tell me in the comments, who should Chimaev fight next? And who actually has a real chance of surviving?